Chapter 16, Ashfall. The blizzard howled like a living thing as Briar and Lyra stumbled through the jagged valley, every breath turning white in the freezing air. The Vyre Strider's silhouette flickered behind them through sheets of snow, broken, limping, but still unyielding, still hunting. Briar's legs threatened to give way with every step. Pain radiated from his cracked ribs with every inhale. His right arm hung limp from the Ion's earlier strike, and his inhibitor pulsed in painful warning, its glow barely visible beneath torn fabric. Lyra gripped his good arm, practically dragging him. "Keep going, we're close." Close to what? He wasn't sure. Their evac beacon blinked weakly on Lyra's wrist display, its signal distorted by the storm. Behind them, metal scraped against stone. The Strider was gaining. Briar forced himself to move faster. The snow stung his eyes, his face, even his teeth. Everything ached. Everything felt too slow. "Lyra, stop," he gasped for breath. "You should leave me, I'm slowing you." "Try that again and I'll hit you," she snapped, voice trembling but fierce. "You're not dying here, Locks." He didn't argue again. Not when her arms shook with cold, not when her shield bracer sparked from damage, not when she spared glances over her shoulder every 3 seconds, fear never leaving her eyes. The blizzard parted for a heartbeat as the ground beneath them shifted into a wide industrial plateau. Ruins of a collapsed comms station sat crooked in the snow, a skeletal structure of bent metal and half-buried consoles. "We hold here," Lyra said. Briar nearly fell to his knees. "Lyra." "It's elevation, cover, and the beacon's signal is clearer here." She pointed to a half-collapsed antenna. "We can boost it." A distant metallic roar cut through the storm. They didn't have long. Inside the comms station, the roof sagged under layers of ice, beams groaning like old bones. Briar collapsed against a wall while Lyra ripped open a rusted maintenance panel, sparks flying as she jammed exposed wires together. Come on," she muttered. A deep vibration rolled through the floor, like something massive had stepped onto the plateau. Briar forced himself upright. "It's here." Lyra didn't look back, almost got the signal boost, hold it off. He stared at her. "I can barely stand." "That didn't stop you last time." He swallowed hard. Pain or not, fear or not, she was right. Briar took a shaky step forward, then another. His injured arm screamed in protest, and his chest burned with every breath, but he positioned himself between Lyra and the doorway anyway. The inhibitor glowed a dim, angry amber beneath his skin. He lifted his left hand. A flicker of light sputtered across his fingertips. The doorway darkened. The Vyre Strider stepped through the blizzard, its movement slower now, one leg dragging slightly, its armor fractured in several places. Smoke curled from the wound Briar had burned into its chest hours earlier. But its eyes burned brighter. Focused. Predatory. Incomplete target, reacquired. Briar braced himself, heart pounding. The Strider lunged. Briar fired. The beam that burst from his palm was weak, unstable, nothing like the earlier surge. It struck the Strider's leg, forcing it to stumble but not fall. The Ion swept a claw toward him. Briar barely dodged, falling to the floor. Snow and dust exploded as the claw embedded into the steel beside him. He scrambled up, breath ragged. The Strider lashed out again. This time Briar didn't dodge, he pushed. A force pulse blasted from his hand, small but sharp. It deflected the blow just enough for him to roll aside. The Strider examined him again. Adaptation detected, insufficient. It struck him across the torso, not a killing blow, but deliberate testing. Briar slammed into a wall, coughing blood. "Briar," Lyra screamed. The Strider turned toward her voice. No, Briar forced himself up, stumbling forward. "Leave her alone." Lyra fired her sidearm into the Ion's back. The shots pinged off harmlessly, but it was enough to draw its attention. It pivoted toward her. Lyra raised her shield bracer, its energy flickering weakly. Come on then, she whispered. The Strider charged. She braced herself. At the last second, Briar threw himself between them. The Strider's claw tore across his shoulder, too close, too deep. Briar cried out as his legs buckled. His vision blurred. He fell. Lyra caught him before he hit the ground. Stay with me. The Strider approached slowly now, savoring the moment. It extended its remaining good arm toward Briar's throat. Evaluation complete. Termination. A thunderous boom split the air as a missile streaked overhead. Lyra's beacon had worked. The evac shuttle roared through the storm, floodlights cutting through the darkness, engines shaking the snow beneath them. The Strider paused. Then it leapt for the shuttle. Move! Lyra dragged Briar toward the landing zone as the shuttle descended. 2 soldiers leaned out, firing suppressive bolts to keep the ion at bay. Briar glanced back. The Strider clung to the shuttle's hull, metal buckling under its grip. No. Another missile fired from the shuttle's wing, detonating against the Strider. The ion was thrown from the hull and crashed into the snow below, limbs twisting, armor cracking, energy sputtering from its wounds. Lyra hauled Briar into the shuttle just as the doors slammed shut. The engines roared, lifting them into the air. Through the frost-covered window, Briar watched the Strider push itself up one last time, limping, smoking, but alive. Still watching him. Still evaluating. Then the storm swallowed it. Hours later, Briar lay on a medbay cot back at Askastrad. His wounds were stabilized. His inhibitor pulsed softly, working overtime to heal what it could. Lyra sat beside him, exhaustion softening her features. You should have let me take the hit, she muttered. Not happening, Briar whispered. Kara passed the doorway then, pausing for a breath. She glanced inside, eyes landing on Briar, on Lyra, on their battered state. Her expression was unreadable. She walked on. Lyra rested a hand on Briar's shoulder. We get stronger from here, all of us. Briar stared at the ceiling, pain throbbing in every part of him. Not strong enough. Not fast enough. Not controlled enough. But alive. Barely. He forced a whisper past cracked lips. I'll get better. I have to. Outside the infirmary window, snow drifted across the training fields. Unaware that somewhere far to the north, a damaged ion elite was rising from the wreckage, its eyes burning brighter than before.